and welcome back to Brick Gaming Yugioh. Today I'm going to be talking about why pendulums are the best deck this format and why you should be playing them. Before I get into this, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of these videos in the comments below. And if you want to see more uploads like this, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much. Let's get into this video. So, right now, a lot of decks got hit on the ban list. Ban list has been out for a little bit. So there's been a couple of decks that have really proven to be, still playable this format. I would say the top 3 right now, in my own personal opinion. Even though there haven't been really that many tournaments since the ban list, I would say it's between Pendulums, Sky Striker, and Danger Thunder Dragon. I think also another deck that has a lot of possibility for relevance is Orcus still. Like, Orcus variants are still really powerful, and you can still do a lot, but I still feel like they're going to be tier 2, maybe tier 1.5 at highest, versus the tier 1 decks right now being Pendulums. I think Sky Striker's still tier 1.5, maybe tier 1, and Danger Thunder Dragon, which is in the TCG, still tier 1. And the reason Pendulums are so good right now, outside the World's ban list, or maybe even the OCG ban list, the reason they're so good in the TCG is the deck has not been hit at all. I mean, minus hits that happen forever back, like Electromite being limited, Astrograph being banned, the deck has not been hit. And outside of that, there's also a lot of stuff you can do with the deck. If you've been watching like my content on my channel, you can probably tell that there's a lot of different variants out there, and you can do a lot of different things with them. I still want to do more variants, I still want to do more different ways you can play the deck, but I feel like right now, if you want to take this deck to an event, the most consistent, best way of playing the deck is with Guard Dragon combo. But if you can't afford the Guard Dragon combo because, Triple Burst is still expensive card, sorry yugioh isn't really required, but it's still pretty expensive. And even like Borrowed Savage Dragon is kind of expensive right now. I think it's like $30, $35. If you want to go to more cheaper options, let's play like the hero build, and you can always get your stuff in lowest rarity, which will save you a lot of money. And I think if you really want to play a competitive deck that's going to be around from ban list to ban list, unless Konami completely hits the deck, Pendulum Magicians would be, or even just any Pendulum variant, would be a good option to go with. And the reason, first off, the reason you want to play Pendulums is because it's probably the most consistent deck out right now. Now you can play 60 card variants, 40 card variants, anything in between. Another YouTuber that does a lot of really good variants on this deck that I think you should all check out is Trif Gaming, if you already haven't. I mean, he's a lot bigger than my channel, so you probably watched him before you watched these videos, but his videos are really good on this deck. He does a lot of different variants of the deck, so definitely check out his channel. But outside of having a lot of different variants and having a lot of consistency, the deck also has a lot of power behind it. You can set up like 4 or 5 negate opening board with interruptions. Like, there's just so much you can do with the deck. Also with the spell canceler combo, and with and within my video talking about like the heroes in there, there's a lot of like floodgate options. You can do a lot where you can just shut down your opponent just with very simple, very quick interactions during your turn, and you can just outright win the duel. Like, I think there's even like FTK variants out there now where you can make Zexal, and I can probably do a video on that. There's like a Dragunity Pendulum variant where you can make Zexal in it and make it so your opponent can't play at all, and that's pretty much an FTK. Like, there are a lot of different options with the deck, as I mentioned before, but the deck has a lot of power behind it is what I'm really getting at. Like, if your opponent can't break your board during your first turn, then you can just outright win. You can just hit them for game during your next turn. Or if you go second, there's still a lot of options. Like, I think one of the best options for going second is the Utopia package. This can literally win games. Like, this is just going for game every single time. Like, and if you can't get them down, like, all the way down to, like, any life points, like if you can't hit them for game right then, there's still more stuff you can do in the same exact turn to make it so your opponent still can't break your board. During one of my duel videos against Spiral Orcus, I showed how this card, basically you can hit your opponent for a lot of damage, and if your opponent can't respond to it, then during your next turn you're pretty much going to win if you do any amount of damage. And I've also had a lot of success with this, with like that engine and with this deck in general. Like, I've been taking this deck to locals. Honestly, the Mass Hero variant could have done better, but I can definitely make improvements. There's definitely a couple quick fixes I can do to make that variant better. But right now, this Guard Dragon variant, at like 18 person locals just earlier this week, I got second place with this deck. Only took one loss. And all my tiebreakers, like everyone I went up against did really well in tournament. But this deck you can just squeeze out wins. Like you don't even have to win the dice roll every single time. Like I've lost the dice roll so much with this deck, but you can still just outright win with this build because you have going second options, you have going first options, you have recursion. You can just do a lot with this with a single build, and you can put together pretty much any variant. There's tons of different options, there's tons of different cards. You can still even play the Orcust in here if you really wanted to. Back when Orcust were better, it was definitely a lot stronger, but you can still play them in here just because of how strong this deck is. Now, outside of the strength of this deck, and outside of the insane level of consistency, another reason this deck is really good is because, well, it was untouched on balance. As I touched on earlier, this deck was untouched. So, you can still play at full power, and you still have all these options to play around with different cards that do different things. But really, the whole point of the deck not getting hit basically makes it one of the strongest decks in the game, if not the strongest deck if you're good at playing the deck. Now, over on another channel on I believe Simu's channel, or Simo's, however you want to say it, there was a player who got like a second place at like a PPG or regional, and he did a really good job explaining his build, and I would also recommend checking that video out. I think it'll still be like one of the most recent videos on Simu's channel, and that video is really good for going over just kind of like how you want to play Pendulums. Like, in my personal opinion, there are just tons of different options, but I think the best way to play the deck right now is to take a proactive approach instead of a reactive approach. Now, what I mean by reactive approach is some players will probably still want to play Call by the Grave, or play like Solemn Judgment's main deck, stuff like that. Not saying it's bad, but more looking at a reactive response. What you want to do to win with this deck, in my opinion right now, is take a proactive response. So go in, guns blazing basically, and take a whole bunch of cards that just accept negates that are big beaters, and you're just going to be able to win the game way faster, way easier. You should be able to win within the first 2 or 3 turns, and even if you go in a grind game, with this build anyways, grind game doesn't matter. You have Daigusto Emerald. Once you reset like a whole bunch of your guys back into your deck, you can just keep going for turns and turns after that. Also, Ignister is good during mid game or even early game just to slow down your opponent. Nightmare Unicorn can take care of a lot of options, and also you also have number 39. You have a lot of really good options in this deck just to outright win games after turn 1. So this is why I think Pendulum's one of the best decks in the game. Also, before I end this video, I also kind of want to just do a quick explanation of how to win against your other matchups. So against Sky Striker, against not True, blah blah blah. My bad, guy. Danger Thunder Dragon, or like any other meta relevant decks. What I would recommend is knowing how to properly side deck with this deck. Now, the thing about Pendulum is that no matter how many cards you're playing, you're guaranteed pretty much consistency with the deck, because you just have so many starter cards and so many extenders. So what I would recommend for side decking is you can actually, in this deck, if you really want to, you can side out some of your engine cards. Not all of them, maybe like cut down one copy of engine card that aren't like completely necessary going second or anything like that. And then for side decking, I would highly recommend going the hand trap route. So my side deck right now, I haven't shown this in the previous videos because I was still putting it together, but for what I would recommend is going hand trap. So you can do Ash. I'm actually planning on replacing Ash with Ogre, but Ash is a really solid option right now. I feel like Ash can definitely win a lot of games, but I actually have realized for this deck, I actually prefer Droll over Ash. Droll outright wins you games. In the mirror match, it wins. Against Sky Striker, it wins. Against Danger Thunder Dragon, it wins. Against Orcust, yeah, it can possibly win you the game. Sure, this is probably one of the weaker cards against Orcust, but it can still outright win you the game. So I think Droll and Lockbird is probably the best option. Now, here's another idea I've kind of been working with. Of course, Lancia. Lancia beats the Thunder Dragon matchup. just outright win to that game. I would say the hardest matchup for this deck right now is the Thunder Dragon matchup, because they go first. That's going to be your hardest board to break, in my opinion, and from my own personal experience. And the person you're going up against who's playing the Danger Thunder Dragon has experience with the deck, then they're probably going to have a really big advantage. But the way to beat them and get them to lose that advantage is Lancias and Trolls. That'll outright win you the game. Now, also for other matchups, including Sky Striker, I like citing in Valor. Valor can win the Sky Striker matchup. If you hit their Shizuku before they go end phase, at the end of their main phase 2, you can shut them down. Especially if they're going first and still on the first turn, they're not going to have very many options. Usually they don't go Kagari during the first turn, and you can force them into using more resources, which will help win the game later on and help break their board during the next turn. Also, another really good option against Sky Striker or even back-row deck, just in case you're going up against a back-row deck. I like Twin Twisters the most. I know a lot of people are playing like Galaxy Cyclone, I believe, or cards like that, like the one where you banish their back row. And I mean, I picked up my playset of that card, of course, but just in testing, this card actually has a lot more versatile use. So it clears 2 back row instead of just 1, which is really powerful. And secondly, the reason it's a lot better than other ones is because sometimes you'll open this and Dark Worm, and then it's just nuts. Like, you can just win games super fast with this card. This card can actually be an extender in some respects to help you get into more resources. So I really like that card. And then final card I'm side decking is Double Dinosaur Prinkertops. So this card can win a lot of matchups pretty easily. Against Sky Striker in the mirror match, you can win. So like in the mirror match, I really love siding this card in, because if your opponent makes Horak Seal during their first turn and you go battle phase with this guy, and you can try to force out the Horak Seal. And so if you try to hit the Horak Seal, they'll be pretty much forced to tribute it. Then you can chain tribute him and then get rid of one of the other guys. Now either A, force out negate, or B, get rid of another one of their dudes. And so that's just another really good option if your opponent like puts up a massive board of pendulums. This card can just break that board. Like, not fully, like you still need to play through a couple other cards. But if your opponent has a hard time dealing with this card, which they should, then you can really just easily like get edge in the matchup, and that advantage can allow you to win the game. So this is what I think what I like for my side deck right now, and this is what I'm using. The Ashes will become Ghost Ogres, because my problem with Ash is that it's good in some matchups, but not good enough. Now, my whole idea with hand traps is that when I play hand traps, I want to end my opponent's turn and make it so that they can't play. Not try to stop one play and then hope that they don't have something that they can recover with. So, in my personal opinion, Ash just isn't good enough right now. I'm going to go the Ghost Ogre route just because Ghost Ogres are a lot more versatile for side decking. And that's just my personal opinion. So if you guys like this video, let me know in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. I'll see y'all in the next video. Brick Gaming yugioh, signing out.